Something a little bit different. Now, we've all got a bad habit or two, and those who say they don't, well, they're lying. Whether it's scrolling on our phones too much, guilty, staying up too late, kind of guilty too, or eating when we're not hungry, it can be really hard to ditch them and adopt new ones. So let's bring in Dr. Gina, Cleo. She's a habit expert from the Habit Change Institute, and she joins me now from the Gold Coast. Thank you so much for joining us. What are the worst habits that people have?
You listed them, Erin. I don't know how you managed to do that, but I actually surveyed hundreds of Australians recently, and they said that their 3 most common unwanted habits are exactly what you said. It is doom scrolling on our phone, staying up too late, or snoozing our alarm when we should be getting up, and snacking when we're not hungry.
I actually genuinely had no idea. That is so random. So we've identified the worst ones then. It can't be easy to stop, or else we all would, or is it?
It's not easy. I always say to people that the method of breaking your habits is simple. It's a very simple formula, but actually doing it is not easy because it takes lots of self-control, it takes awareness, it takes changing your environment, it takes a whole lot of grit and determination.
So give me a practical example of a bad habit and how to stop it.
Okay, so say a really common one that people come to me with is getting up and the first thing you do is you look at your phone. And that means you're scrolling on your phone instead of going to the gym or walking the dog or doing whatever it is that you're in your morning that you would have rather been doing. So instead of having your phone right next to you on your bedside table, put it in the bathroom or somewhere else where you're actually going to have to get up out of bed to reach for your phone. That way, you're much less likely to be sitting there scrolling on it and doing that bad habit. So that's changing your environment.
So how long do you do that before the urge stops?
It's interesting, and the urge really comes down to, firstly, how long you've been doing the habit, how much reward you get from doing that habit, but also how badly it is that you want to break it. I've met people who have broken their habits overnight because they really, really wanted to break it. But if it's something that you're kind of ambivalent about breaking, then it might take you longer because you're going to be falling back into that old habit a little bit more often. And of course, the more you do something, then the more automatic it gets. But the less you do your unwanted habits, the easier it becomes for your brain to get rid of that unwanted habit. So you really want to be abstaining as much as possible.
Just quickly, how often do you see people giving up a bad habit and replacing it with, well, a bad habit, i.e. smoking and vaping?
Yes, a lot, unfortunately. Or, non-hungry snacking with too much shopping or gambling or gaming or all sorts of things like that.
Wow.
We're really just chasing dopamine. Like, so much of our behaviour is about avoiding pain and seeking pleasure. And a lot of our unwanted habits, unfortunately, give us lots of pleasure. They give us dopamine. Like scrolling gives us dopamine, sugar, chewing, drugs, alcohol, all those things make us feel good in the moment.
It is a cruel, cruel world. Dr. Gina, Cleo, thank God we've got you. Thank you so much for those tips. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Erin.